Can you see the chapel?
No, there we go.
There you go. That's the Columbus Chapel. Now, is that little hand moving around?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the altar of the chapel. This is where the priest stands and says the Mass. These are very nice paintings. These two paintings up here are from the late 1500s. They're Spanish and Italian. These two paintings are Dutch and Spanish. And this big box over here belonged to Christopher Columbus himself. So this is the strongest connection with Christopher Columbus in all the United States. And these things were brought here in 1909, 100 years ago, by my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather. Because my great-grandmother, Matilda, or Mathilde as they say in France, was a descendant of Columbus, and her husband, Theodore Davis Bold, who lived here in Boalsburg, he was part of the Bold family, he brought these items over from the Columbus Castle in Spain. Let me see if I can get a picture of the castle for you. Hold on. The castle in Spain where the chapel was originally. Oh, let's see. What were the Indies to Columbus? Where do you think he was? Go ahead with the hand up.
China, Japan, Asia.
Okay, so why didn't he call them the Chinese then? Why did he call them Indians? Because he thought he was in?
The Indies. India.
India. He thought he was in India. So he called them Indians.
Wow.
He was mistaken. You know, Columbus died not knowing that he had discovered a new world. He died thinking that he'd been somewhere near Japan somewhere. He just hadn't found the capital yet, hadn't found the emperor yet, the emperor of Japan. So let's see. Let me see if there's any other good myths about Columbus. Columbus didn't die poor in prison. He was put in chains once. An investigator came to the New World. Columbus was not a very good administrator. He didn't run things very well. He was a very good explorer, and he was very religious. He felt he was spreading God's word. I've heard a lot of you say for Thanksgiving, you're thankful for your family and your pets and for God and for your relationship with God. I heard a lot of you say that on the videos on your website. Columbus also talked about God a lot. His idea of God was he would come to these lands, he would change these people into Christians, and that would be better for them. Again, in the old days, you did that and everyone said, wonderful. Nowadays, you go and try to get people to change their religion, and they say, what are you trying to do? So, anyway, Columbus was religious, he was an explorer, and he was interested in trading, in making money, in trading things. Because in Europe, if you wanted to get things from Asia, from China and Japan, you went east, and you traveled far, far, far along the land, what's called the Silk Route. They wanted to get things they couldn't get in Europe, like silk. But on the way there, you usually got robbed and held up by people who weren't the same religion as you, weren't the same culture as you. It was kind of awful. So what do you do when every time you try to do something, it doesn't work? Try again. You know, have you heard of Albert Einstein?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Was he smart or dumb?
Smart.
Very smart. You know what he said insanity is? He said insanity is trying the same thing and expecting different results. So if you go east across the land and you get robbed and beaten up and your stuff taken, after a while the Europeans said, you know what? There's got to be a different way of doing this. There's got to be a way to bypass all those people from a different religion and a different culture. There must be some other way. And what was Columbus all about?
Exploring. Religion. Exploring.
Why exploring?
Because he's a really good explorer.
He was a really good explorer. Why did he explore?
Because he tried to go to around to India, but he didn't know he was in the new lands.
Why did he want to go to India?
So he could get some goods and riches.
Which is what they were trying to do when they went east across the land, right?
Yeah.
So what Columbus was doing was bypassing all the trouble you got if you went across the land to the east. He said, I'll go across the water to the west. The world is round, and that way I'll get there without any trouble. He was bypassing a system that was a lot of trouble. Nowadays, we can do the same thing. If you have a lot of trouble with a system, you figure out a way around it. Columbus was like that, and he used his skills in exploring to do that. He wasn't successful in the sense that he didn't get to a place where there was a lot of trade, but he was very successful in the long run because they wound up in America, and they did find gold in Peru, and they found silver in Mexico, and Spain got very, very rich. And the rich people in Spain got very, very rich. But you know what? It didn't help them, because by having nothing but rich people and poor people in Spain, they weren't very strong as a nation. But that's another story. That's the impact, the effect of what Columbus did. Across hundreds of years, the effect of what Columbus did. Let's see, Marla, what else should we talk about?
The controversy maybe as to where he's buried.
Oh, that's a good one. I should have made that a true or false. So, because it's hard to know. So, where's Columbus buried? Who wants to risk an answer to that? Okay, hand up in the back there, holding a piece of paper.
Colton.
Where did you travel again? Dig it.
Where?
In Spain.
In Spain, okay. Where in Spain? Do you know offhand?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I just said Spain.
What's that?
I don't know where in Spain.
Okay, in Sevilla, they will say, in Sevilla, Spain. Wait a minute. Am I losing the picture here again? There we go. They say in Sevilla, Spain. Where else is Columbus buried?
What? He's buried in one more.
Sounds like a silly question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But guess what? Sometimes silly people learn a lot more than smart people. You know why? Because smart people say, "Oh, I already knew that," and silly people say, "I don't know. Tell me."
Yeah. I don't know.
So let's try it again. Where else is Columbus buried?
I don't know. Tell us.
Santo Domingo, in the Dominican Republic, in Central America.
What? This one.
Okay, so now we have a little problem here, don't we?
Yeah. It's all across the whole.